Hello everyone, I am Mark Katia and I will be talking today about the great figure Upton Sinclair. Now, Upton Sinclair is an individual and influential writer whose work left a very profound impact on American society. This man was born in 1878. He was a journalist, he was a novelist, and he was a social reformer who exposed the darker sides of an individual capitalism. One of his very famous works is called the books was The Jungle, and it was published in 1906. And this talked about the horrifying condition in Chicago's meatpacking industry, and that helped in altering the public opinion and changed government policies. According to James Whartonson biography about Upton Sinclair, which was called The Forgotten Man, he states that Sinclair's goal was actually to bring attention and to raise awareness to social injustices. And it's very interesting to consider that Sinclair started writing at a very young age, and he started selling novels starting at when by the time he was 15. He even attended law school at Columbia University, and not unfortunately, however, he wasn't able to continue on with that because of his love in writing, and that pulled him away from that path. He was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and he was raised in a working class family, and he grew up in witnessing struggles of the poor, which he heavily influenced and talked about in his writings. According to Matthew Ischeneur in The Dream of a New Social Order, he says the book The Jungle, says he intended to highlight the harsh realities faced by immigrant workers in meatpacking plants, and that exposed their exploitation under capitalism. Now, it's also worth noting that even though he was born in Maryland, Sinclair didn't actually grow up in just one place. He was moving between poor and rich neighborhoods, and that gave him this unique perspective on social inequality from a very young age. And that's something that would really shape his writing more. Now, in addition to The Jungle, he wrote and he authored over 90 books, and these are just examples of these 91, or more than 90 ones. He wrote The Oil, and that book inspired the film There Will Be Blood and The Brass Check, which exposed corruption in journalism, and his work always consistently focused on social injustices. And that was also noted by a historian named Christine Stansel, who states that Sinclair's writings reflected his strong commitment to reform socialist principles. And here's something interesting that I found, that in actually the film Brass Check, his book on corruption in journalism was um, the first that was the first to lead uh to be the first code of ethics in the United States, and that even later in life he kept writing and was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in 1943 for his book or the novel Dragon's Teeth, which was about the rise of German Nazism. Now going back to the jungle captured national attention not only for its focus on workers' rights, but also for its shocking revelations about the unsanitary conditions in meat packing industries that we talked about in the previous slides. Now, according to Sinclair himself, he states, I aimed at the public's heart and by accident, I hit it in the stomach. And this led to the passage of the Pure Food and Drug Act and the Meat Inspection Act of 1906, which were pivotal in establishing food safety standards in the US. And after The Jungle came out, President Roosevelt actually ordered an investigation into the meatpacking industry. And sure enough, investigators confirmed that Sinclair wasn't exaggerating, and that's what helped us through those important food push through those important food safety laws. Now, Sinclair, beyond his writing, beyond being a journalist and a novelist, he was very politically active. For example, in 1934, he ran for governor of California under the End of Poverty in California campaign. And although he didn't win, according to the media historian Robert Machancy, his campaign was a turning point in the use of media politics. Sinclair's tireless commitment to social justice made him a very, very significant key figure in both literature and political activism. Now, while he didn't win the election, Sinclair's campaign really shook up California politics, and he wanted to set up a state-run cooperatives for the unemployed, which was very pretty radical at the time. And even though he lost, his ideas actually influenced future reforms in labor laws and politics, uh, progressive policies, excuse me. And this man's legacy reminds us and always tells us that the power of words to challenge uh, injustices, to change minds, and shape the course of history. Thank you so much.